Hello, fifth graders. So today we're going to continue talking about line plots, and we are actually today going to be making line plots. So instead of, we're going to be analyzing as well, but we're also going to be creating our own line plots. But first, I want to just do a quick little review with you guys from yesterday's lesson. So right now we have a line plot. The title tells us it's fox, sparrow, feather lengths. And then you can see all of these are on the bottom are the length of the feathers in inches. So the first question, it says, how many feathers are 2 1/4 inches or longer? Okay. So we have 2 1/4 inches here. All right. And then we want to know 2 1/4 inches or longer. So basically we're counting the dots above 2 1/4, 2 1/2, and 2 3/4. Okay, so if we counted all of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 2 1/2, and 1, 2, 3 for 2 3/4. We added all those together, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 feathers. All right, and it says explain. We can just say we counted all dots above 2 1/4, 2 1/2, and 2 3/4. Okay, the next problem, it says Jerome discovered he had made an error when he recorded one of the feather lengths. Which data value could be the error? So we talked about this yesterday, that I said if you see something like this, it's either an error or it's because something just stands out. So what data length, what feather length could have been an error in this problem? Well, this 3/4 feather length seems to be an outlier. It's an outlier. It is far away from the other lengths. All right, and again, it may be an error because it kind of stands far away from everything else. And the last question says, Jerome studied the feather lengths of some adult fox sparrows. How long are the longest feathers in the data set? So this can be a confusing question because when some people say how long, they just automatically look at the dots that are the tallest. But that goes for 2 1/4. Is 2 1/4 the longest feather? No. 2 3/4 is the longest feather. It's not the most common, but it is the longest feather that was recorded. Okay, so this is kind of a review from yesterday a little bit, just analyzing line plots. So today we are going to be making our own line plot. Okay, so we do two things first. First, we organize our data. And this right here is called a frequency table. And basically a frequency table is just something that is used to organize your data. Okay, so we have this table and we start with the dog weight of 6. It's in pounds. Okay, so there is 1, and I cross them out to make it so I'm not confused. There are 2, and we tally it. Those are like the lines. Okay, 2 6s, so the frequency of 6s are 2. 7 1/4 is the next possible one. I only see one of those, so there's one of them. Frequency is 1. Frequency just means how many times does it occur, okay? So frequency is how many times does the data value occur, the frequency of it. 8 1/2, I have 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. 11 1/2, I just see that once. 12 1/4, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you don't know how to do, remember when we do tallies, when we get to the 5th one, we go across. If you don't know how to do the diagonal virtually, you can just add a 5th line there if you want. That's okay. So that's 5 there. Now that we have it all organized, it's really easy to make a line plot. Okay, because we can look at this line plot on the bottom and put 2 dots above the 6, 2 dots above the 7 1/4, or 1 dot above the 7 1/4, 3 dots above the 8 1/2, and so on. It's all right here, nice and organized for us. Now, if I look at this number line down here, I see the whole numbers on these red lines that I'm doing, okay? But then I see little dashes as well. And these little dashes, guys, stand for fractions, okay? Now, if there are 3 little dashes, that means there are actually 4 sections. So my number line is split into fourths, okay? Split into fourths. So that means that this, like if I started at 9, this right here would be 9 1/4, 9 2/4, 9 3/4, 10, okay? So what I did, this dot right here is going to be used to make your line plot. Once you pull away this dot, there's dots underneath. So they keep going and going. So don't worry about running out of dots. So let's start graphing this, starting at 6. So the frequency is two dogs that are 6 pounds. So we're going to put 1 dot above the 6 and another dot above the 6. Okay, so there are 2 dogs that weigh 6 pounds. The next one is 7 1/4. There's 1. So 7 is right here. Where would 7 1/4 be? Well, if we count 7, 7 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, which is 8. So 7 1/4 would be right next to 7. 7 1/4. And there's only 1 there. 8 1/2. Okay, we have 8. We have 8 1/4, 8 2/4, 8 3/4. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Which fraction is equivalent to half? 1/4, 2/4, or 3/4? 2/4. So we put 3 dots above 8 2/4, which is the same thing as 8 1/2. Okay. 11 1/2, the same thing. We have 11 1/4, 11 2/4, 11 3/4. So this is the same thing as a half if we simplify it. So we put 1 dot above 11 1/2. And then lastly, 12 1/4 for the dog weight. There are 5 of them. That's why we create this frequency table. Nice and easy to see now. So we have 12, and then 12 1/4 is that first dash because it's split into fourths. So we put 5 dots. 1, 2, I may run out of room a little bit. 3, 4, whoop, and 5. There we go. So now we basically just created our dot plot or line plot, okay? And it's easy to see that the weights of the dogs are kind of all over the place, okay? But the most common weight is 12 1/4. All right? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to do this next one by yourself. So you're going to do the same thing. There's this data right here, okay? And what you're going to do is there's all of these data points that are all there. You're going to tally them, and then you're going to write the number, okay, the number frequency it is. And then you're going to graph the data. Now, again, this number line is split into fourths as well. You have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then all of these individual tiny lines are 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and so on. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and so on. All right. So graph this. This is going to be your assignment for today. Graphing all of these points on first organizing your data in a frequency table and then graphing it onto a number line. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know and have a wonderful day. Bye, 5th grade.